You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Hello, welcome back to the channel, it's JPA here. In today's video I'm going to be discussing Rangers versus Hamilton tomorrow. If you're new to the channel and you like the content, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Help the channel grow as much as it possibly can, and I'll just get straight into this video, guys. So it's Rangers versus Hamilton tomorrow, 3 o'clock kick-off. Unfortunately there's no TV coverage, no Sky, no BT Sport or anything like that. You're going to have to get on Rangers TV. Don't mind doing that, gives the club money and all that kind of thing. So you'll be able to find it on there with the Rangers commentary team as well. This one, I really don't know how to take this one. Obviously the game in midweek was disappointing and we'll have to kind of just get over that straight away. But this is a league game where on paper we can absolutely hammer them. We could easily take 6, 7, even 8 goals off them on paper, but the game isn't played on paper. It's sometimes played on plastic, but that's another story. Yeah, the last time they came here they actually won, which is really, really surprising. I think they won a couple of years back under Murty, 2-0 I think it was. I think, if I remember rightly, David Templeton scored for them. And that was disappointing to lose, because we had a really good record in not being beat at Ibrox from Hamilton in like so many years, and that kind of broke it. And then they came last year in March and unfortunately they won. And I tried to kind of think back at that game and I was like, I can't really remember how that game went. So I went back on YouTube, watched the highlights, and that game was unbelievable. I mean, if you can remember it, please go back on highlights and watch it. We must have easily created about 9, 10, 11 clear-cut chances to score. We hit the bar twice. Tavernier missed for about 3 yards out. No real blame on me, just the way it came to him, and he just kind of just hit off the bar. But it was real disappointing, and their goal came from a rare, very rare Connor Goldson error, where he just tried to play it out for the back and he just kind of put his foot on the ball, but it just kind of just rolled under his foot. Didn't quite trap it enough, and David Moya just sneaked in, and it was almost just like a tackle that just kind of poked the ball in behind the goalkeeper, which was really disappointing. We all know that teams come to Ibrox and they sit in, they play slightly different to they play at other teams, so there's a real much point in going in depth of who they've played and what their scoreline was. Give you a wee bit of background. They've obviously only won 2 games all season. They're sitting bottom of the league, 1 point behind St Mirren. I think there's a reason that they're always kind of there and thereabouts with St Mirren, is I think they two teams are very similar in the way they play. Very defensively, particularly against us, and we'll have to obviously go and watch out for that. I will give some credit though to Brian Rice, and obviously Gerrard said that in the press conference, that he's very, very aware of how good Brian Rice is as a manager. He's got a lot of respect for him, and to be fair, the last time we did play them, they did actually try and play a little bit of football against us. I know they kind of set up defensively, but when they get over the halfway line and they've got possession, they do get men forward. They're very quick on the break. Paul, very, very fast player. Obviously they've got David Moya, who scored in the last game, David Templeton. They've got good players all over the park. They're missing Gogic, I think, this season. He's obviously away to Hibs, and I think they're missing that main anchor in the midfield this season. I think that's maybe probably their problem. They seem to be involved in high scoring games. They had a 5-3 against St Johnstone, a 4-2 against Aberdeen recently. So they seem to be open, and they concede a lot of goals, they score a lot of goals. I'd imagine they'll be slightly different, they'll slightly obviously more defensive when they come here. But we do have to look at that threat, that when they do get ball, they do get forward, and they do get a lot of players forward and create a lot of chances. In terms of formation that they'll play, they've mainly gone for a 4-4-2. Having said that, the last time they played at Ibrox, they played a 4-1-3-2. So I don't know if they're going to play that way again. As I said, Gogic was a main part of that, and he was the one in midfield who would just sit in front of the defence and kind of marshal it that way. So I think they might kind of just change it up a little bit, I'm not too sure. In terms of Rangers, if you look at our team, In terms of injuries, only Katic is the only main injury. Scotty Arfield took a little bit of a knock against Benfica, but it's not likely that he's going to miss any game time if selected, that is. I'd like to actually see him in there so he can kind of just make amends for that bizarre decision not to keep the ball on Thursday night. And he made a couple of errors that way, so I think he is the type of player who's mentally strong enough to deal with that and come in and put in a performance, and I think he might just be picking him. I don't know what's happening with Zungu. He's never mentioned in the press conferences. He's obviously no match fit yet. He's kind of the way like Kemar Roof and Itten were when they first came to the club, lacking in fitness. Not really played a lot of games, and it's going to just take time to get him in. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. So for my prediction, I'm going to go quite positive, but not too positive. I don't think it's going to be a really high scoring game. I'm going to go Rangers 3, Hamilton 0. Goal scorers of Defoe, if he starts. Honestly, your guess is as good as mine who's going to start up front. Morelos did well the other night and probably deserves to start, but Defoe's looking hungry in his last game against Livingston, and he'll be champing a bit to play. Obviously the same with Kemar Roof, he'll want to play as well, and Itten got his first start last week as well, so it's interesting to find out who will play up front. Other goal scorer for me is going to be Ryan Kent. I think he's due a goal. He's played not that great in recent weeks, but I thought he was back to slightly better against Benfica. He got a lot more of the ball, got forward for that red card, and he probably should have scored with that one chance he had. And the other goal scorer for me is Tavernier. You just can't leave him out of the goal scoring just now. He's just there every time. That's my prediction now, lads. Because I completely forgot to send it, I've not really got anything from the WhatsApp group. I didn't text anybody to say what's your predictions. So I'm sure those people will get them in the comment section, so I apologise for that. Hopefully Bob gets himself set up with that if he's feeling better. I hope we are feeling better, Bob, and you can get yourself set up in the WhatsApp group, and if anybody else wants to do that, then fine. I'm just going to leave the video there, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully with a victory.